Hello, welcome back to Psychedelic Art Exchange's video poster blogs. We are currently live with our June CGC auction, and we wanted to talk about one of the posters in that sale. It's lot number 2. Why don't you show it off?
Check it out. CGC certified 8.5. This is the birth of punk rock in New York City, 1974. Patti Smith and Television. This is kind of a ground zero piece. And
amazing.
Max's Kansas City was one of the underground clubs that the Warhol Factory people hung out in, and there's lots of outrageous stories about Max's, but the really Patti Smith was so pivotal. I mean, I remember when she was on Saturday Night Live, I just couldn't comprehend what she was about, and now like she's the queen of rock and roll.
Yeah, it's really cool. This poster is from late August and early September of 1974. And it was really early in Patti Smith's career. She just formed the Patti Smith Group, I believe, the year before. And they had only just released their first single, which was a cover of Hey Joe and then a B-side called Piss Factory. And she wouldn't actually release her debut album until 1975, so the year after this poster. So yeah, very early in her career. No one really knew who she was yet. And yeah, so Max's Kansas City. There's also Television on there, who had just formed, I think, the year before this, in 1973. They cut their teeth at CBGB's and played a whole bunch of gigs there. And then they moved on to Max's Kansas City, and I don't think they had released any music yet. Their debut album was Marquee Moon, which came out in 1977. And at this point, Richard Hell was still in the band. You can kind of see in that picture. He was one of the founding members, but right after this run, maybe like a year later, he parted ways from the band and went on to join Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers. And then later on after that, he started Richard Hell and the Voidoids, which is kind of, I guess, what he's best known for. But yeah, incredible. So early.
And really, I believe that the punk's material is really the next big thing to explode. It's so difficult to find, and it's in so many small pieces that don't even exist. But this being a poster is really unusual. It's black and white, not that sexy, but it speaks so much to what's going on. And I recall reading somewhere a story about how Patti and like Mapplethorpe would hang outside of Max's. They couldn't get in. They weren't like cool enough at the time, and they hung out on the curb, and she was writing poetry or whatever, and eventually it became the next big deal out of that scene.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, I mean, posters weren't really a big thing in New York, were they? Like, there's not really very many items that we see from CBGB's. I've seen a couple of like calendar style flyers from Max's Kansas City, but nothing like this. I guess, was it more so like flyers that were and handles that were handed out there rather than
there were a lot of flyers and DIY stuff and copier material, but there was also in New York there were paste stuffs, but the stuff didn't survive. It was pasted up. There was no way. It was used for advertising, and that was it. The whole punk thing had an anti-aesthetic, so like full color wonderful artwork wasn't the thing at all. But it is just, it's so scarce, and in this condition it got an 8.5, but it's really although a little bit of toning and like light handling, this is a really sharp piece.
Yeah, and it's only the second one we've seen, which the first one was a few months ago, and I believe that was like a 4.5.
Yeah, I don't recall, but this is the best example that we've seen. This is again, this is a period piece that there aren't many of these. There may be a few copies lying around because it is in the art of rock, but
Yeah.
two came in a couple years, so
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And it's, probably not something that we'll see again anytime soon. So definitely bid accordingly for that.
yes, don't snooze on this. So yeah, the auction closes Sunday night, June 4th, and we expect this to be one of the top finishers. So check it out.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be talking more about punk art and punk flyers here soon. Like we said, we think that there's going to be a lot more coming in and a lot more to talk about. So yeah, let us know if there's something you'd like us to talk about, what you thought about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, keep in touch, and we'll be back soon with another video.